Alright, we're doing our video on
New room.
New room, new venue. Alright, I'm Michael.
I'm Lane.
Cameron. Braden.
Still the same order.
Yeah, we're all yeah, we did. Anyway, we're here to talk about I Heart Huckabee and existentialism and
Pretty much,
what's up, humanism or something?
yeah, and then nihilism or something like that, I believe it's called. Right? Whatever Vauban is, the French lady.
Yeah, the idea of everything is not connected.
We're just all alone in the real world. There's no reason.
For those existentialist detectives, they had their idea of everything was connected, just like the blanket. In a way, everything is connected, but also in a way, everything's disconnected. Like our idea of reality is all different, but in general, the reality is the same among us. We're all with each other. So right now, we're doing a video of all four of us. We're like together in like the blanket, but then we all go our separate ways, or else our realities are split up, and we're not the same.
So what team are you guys a part of? Would you say?
I would say...
Team Albert, he nailed it at the end.
Yeah. It's like, are you guys working together? I'm not sure. I think you're working together.
I thought that too. Like she take it over, and then she goes to the other extreme, and then they kind of meet in the middle a little bit. Like
it's almost like the existential theme, goes too far, so then he starts questioning it, and then Vauban brings there and kind of
Brings it back to reality.
puts a wall there, and then he goes back because
She really put into reality, I thought, when she went into the apartment of his mother, took out the diary, found the one page of the one incident when he was a kid, and he had to crawl out the window.
because his mother was too afraid of him to tell him his cat died.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think his parents loved him at all.
That's how she proved to him that everybody's all alone.
I mean, as a kid, you just want to see, oh, your cat ran away, you died. Ran away.
I thought too at the beginning. I don't know if you guys caught this like I did, but at the beginning was like when Albert had found the card. He was going to see the existential detectives. It was like he was going through a mouse maze.
Yeah.
It was like he just kept going and never ended.
It looked like he just kept going around in circles.
Yeah.
And
then all of a sudden, boom! It was right there. It was like it's kind of weird how that happens. It kind of foreshadowed throughout the movie too, because the existential detectives end up giving him to run around for most of the movie, and then in the end, finally got it.
Yep.
So
it's a really brief kind of foreshadow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Round and round you go. Where you stop, you don't really know.
Yeah. And it was like.
And then he saw. Didn't he like chase somebody towards the
Yeah,
end?
he was chasing somebody.
And that's like his partner or whatever.
No, he wasn't chasing him. He was chasing
Well, I know, but
somebody else.
that's the thing though.
He's trying to follow
Tommy. He follows Tommy's path to the other lady.
Yeah.
And then it brings it back to them.
Yeah.
And then it all connects in the end where he burns down the jet skis and then the house. And then
He realizes that we're all connected in the loneliness that is life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lunch.
And then further on in the movie, like following Tommy's footsteps, and they go to that dinner. I don't even know who those people were connected to Tommy and Albert.
It was the doorman's family.
So so it was just the doorman's family, but that dinner I thought was like very sculpting to the movie. Like just showed their real views on the world. I thought between Tommy and Albert, like how they thought of the world. So like Tommy's big point was to get rid of oil cars or whatever this thing was.
Gasoholic.
Yeah, like so look after the world. And then he's calling him a Hitler, and he's calling all these things, and I don't know. I just thought that was a pretty cool scene.
It was a very cool scene.
Yeah, in terms of dependency on oil, and then it's like, what do we do after oil's gone? Like, we have no idea. It's like,
and then and then Mrs. Hooten, I think is her name. She goes, well, how can you say God's gifts are bad? He goes, well, God gave you a brain. You messed that pretty damn good too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody gets. Like, it depends on, like, the religious point of view. Like, when we talk about class, religion has a whole different set of philosophical ideas. Philosophical ideas, yeah, that way. than like people who aren't as attached to religion as some of those. Like they seem to be like super into religion, and then you got the middle ground people that kind of like, yeah, I believe in a God, but not like super religious. Then you got the atheists that don't really have a religion,
And then there's the people that just don't care.
So where would you guys fit into that mix?
I was raised a Catholic, so I have those Catholic background, but I don't go to church, but I know there's probably something higher than us. I just don't know what it is yet.
Aliens.
Could be aliens, could be a God, or there could be nothing. I mean, it's an idea of like, better to work, pray, and hope there's something there, but if there isn't, you need lots of time praying and going to church and whatnot, but you got that ability that if you're there,
But if you didn't pray and he's there, then you kind of
and yourself, yeah.
get fucked when you get up there.
I mean, like, I'll go to church every now and again with the family, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Christmas and Easter, the big ones, and then it's just after that, it's kind of like, do I have the time? Is what's more important, church or getting homework done, studying and whatnot, so.
So, I guess kind of wrap this section up. Do you feel like you're existential or the Vauban? Like, are you in the middle? How we deciding here?
I'd probably go the existentialism because I mean everything is connected at the atomic level, matter.
Yep.
We're all made of the same, pretty much the same basic elements, water, or like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then, like this is carbon probably. We have carbon in our bodies. We drink water. I mean, everything's connected by water, like H2O. It's just, you have to have that to survive. Water, air.
We're all connected. I mean, whether you want to believe it or not. Like the actual science of it is, we're all just particles. And particles touching other particles. I mean, there's particles.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. I think in a philosophical sense for me personally, I think that we're kind of independent amongst anything. Like, between our thoughts and everything, I think it's all kind of who you are. But in the physical sense, yeah, we are interconnected, I would say.
We're all interconnected at the base level, and then after that, we're separated more. Kind of like, pretty much like class, phylum, feces, and as you go down, you kind of like go down the kingdom, phylum stuff.
Yeah.
As you go down, you become more separated.
Right. I also had written down too from throughout the movie, like, when he finds that card, is that coincidence or is that fate when he finds the card? You know, like, how would you guys think of that?
It's kind of fake because that's the whole reason the movie was there.
No, coincidence.
Well, okay.
The whole thing was about coincidences, so I'm going with coincidence. He wants to know.
But I mean, he wants to know about the government, yes, but it's like, is it a fate that he found these people, not someone else? And then that helped him find Vauban, find Tommy, and then coincidence that they went to, Brad hired them as well to try to use them to screw up Albert even more.
Well, that wasn't coincidence. He purposely hired them.
I know. But then any normal detective probably would have saw right through that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But these people, they're kind of on the loopy side of things. It's just like, whatever, whoever paid the most, or whoever. It's all part of this Albert case.
They used the other guy just to solve Albert's case while trying to solve his.
Yeah, but they solved his easily, like so quickly. It was about his brother. They went to his house or whatever, called his brother. Mm-hmm. Brother sent them the toy, the dinosaurs over there.
Lizards.
Yeah. And so it's like, it all kind of connected with his brother. They figured that out in like 3-5 minutes of the movie. Yeah. And then boom, they're right back to Albert's case. It's like, they just kind of use that to get more insight on
I personally think
major part of Albert's case.
I think it's fate because I believe that everything happens for a reason. Like, there's things out there that you might lose your job, but in the long run, that's going to get you a different job that you might like better. Kind of thing. I think that things actually happen for a reason, so I believe in the fate part of that. Just for that simple reason.
I kind of agree with you about the job thing. Like for me, I work at Pizza. It's a decent job. I like it. somebody said this, somebody said that. It's like I've had times I want to quit, but it's like I'm not motivated enough to go find a new job until I get fired. Then maybe I'm like, I need a job, so I got to actually go find it. Right. But since I'm stuck in this rut of, oh, Pizza Ranch will be fine for now. I got one more year left. No point changing jobs now unless I get fired. So it's like I'm not motivated to go do it, so I'm just kind of stuck where I am now.
Yeah, and I look at a sense like I'm from Canada, I end up in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Why? Like, what brought me here? Well, I ended up meeting my girlfriend here. So I mean, like, you think it's something like that, it's like, whoa, that's kind of weird. How when you first think of this, like, should I go there? And you do, and something happens. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I find that kind of cool. But you guys feel confident in that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how are you not yourself?
Good question.
I mean, granted, I guess compared for me to from high school, I've changed a lot. I've opened up more. In high school, I was more played a lot of music in high school, like with the band guy. Didn't really go away from my band group. Didn't talk to the jocks, but here at Northern, everybody's kind of just like everyone's wherever. Like you can open up to anyone, talk to anyone. Like the dorm room kind of helps. Like being in the dorms kind of helps that.
Yeah.
You just leave your door open if you're not doing anything, like playing games or something. People stop by, start talking to you. You just kind of make new friends easier. Right. High school, go to class, go home. There's no time where you can actually talk with the other people besides maybe a football game or something. But since I was in band, I was stuck in the band area.
Right.
Couldn't really move much. And here in Northern, I've changed. Then with like that, I've opened up to more people. I've talked to more people. I can go up to most people and say, hi, how you doing? I'm Michael.
Yeah.
Like, what's your major? Stuff like that. Not really normal for me to be doing that compared to back in high school days. But as you get older, it's just kind of a way to open up, meet new people.
Yep.
I kind of had the same experience as Mike. I was kind of shut in when I was a kid. Then got to Northern, and it's like, well, this is a different environment. You just meet your roommate and your roommate's friends, and then people from class.
Right.
And then you just kind of branch out from there. And I'm a lot different than I was in high school, and different like that. And I can see that from not having a job from in high school to getting a job in high school, and then coming to Northern. Just you really see those. I can really look back and see those levels where I'm not myself from when I was a kid, and changed, and even from philosophy changing.
Mm-hmm. I would kind of be on the contrary with you guys. Like, I was very outgoing in high school and whatnot, and everything. I had, what would be called a friend group, but I didn't see them as friends. They were just kind of people that I talked to at school, but I wouldn't hang out with them after school or anything like that. But coming to Northern college, I kind of put a guard up right away. It was kind of.
But a different thing for you is you're also not from this country.
Exactly.
And so we're all from here. We all know what South Dakota's like.
Yeah,
we're
you guys are all from South Dakota.
Yeah, we're all friendly people in South Dakota, and it's like you're from Canada. It's like, oh,
we're friendly
from Canada. Well, yeah. Sorry.
Bring donuts.
Yeah. So like, I had like a big group of people. Like, I graduated with 140, which seems like a lot here, but at home that's very small. But to you guys, like that seems like a lot for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, if you came from like big cities, Pierre,
yeah,
Rapid City, mine was 200.
Yeah.
And so that's.
But everybody I've talked to, like I graduated with 10 people. I graduated with 5 people. Like,
yeah, those are like the smaller schools.
Like, that's weird to me. And then so I kind of like enclose myself because everybody here knows everybody. Like, it feels like that at home, but you don't know everybody. You go places you don't know everybody, but then you go places you do know everybody. So for me, it was in the sports areas I knew everybody. I could talk to them and have a conversation, but coming here, I'm just like, who do I talk to? Who do I hang out with? Like, I just kind of stayed in the shell.
No, you sophomore, freshman.
I'm a junior.
Or junior, okay. And then you still in the dorms then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that probably inflicts on your friends in the dorms.
Yeah, I mean they're.
Where are you?
I'm in Kramer.
Kramer?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you got your suite.
Yeah.
So you got the 4 people you most.
No, I got 2 people.
Oh, you got
2 person.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I do have the baseball team to hang out with and whatnot. So,
yeah.
But since the first year, I've opened up a lot more. Like, I have more people to talk to. Once you get comfortable in the area. Well, for me, when I get comfortable, I open up a little bit more. But what about you?
What was the question?
How are you?
I not myself. I was thinking of it. how myself. When I think of who am I though? Like, you know, what is my purpose? What myself? How do you explain the word myself? Well, when I think of myself, I think of, you know, 20-year-old, college, working, past farm kid. Then you think about how am I not myself? But I still am myself. I just not in the same
situation.
that same way. Like it's
Well, you're no longer on the farm.
Yeah.
You're going to school.
still 20. Like, but
What's your major?
communications.
Okay, so that's a little different than farming, like agriculture.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Completely two ends of spectrum.
Yeah. But how am I not myself? Like it's a contradicting phrase that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well, I think in a sense the phrase is getting us to think about who we really are. I mean, that's the goal of the question, is who are you really? Like, how are you not yourself? Well, do you do things that aren't you? Like we're saying, like, we go out, like we're not outgoing, or we are outgoing, or whatever it is. You weren't, but now you are, kind of thing. So I think with the world moving and going forward, I mean, different situations help mold us and shape us into the different things we are as well.
And going off that too, also the different people you hang out with affect how you act yourself. So, like, I would act differently from at my work, Dunham's, where I know your cousin, Gregory. I know, I'm sorry too. And I would act differently there than I would at school, and I wouldn't be myself either. I would be different people, pretty much different places.
yeah, I have that at work. Like people, I'm friends with my coworkers outside of work as well as at work, and they notice I'm a lot different at work because I want to be more like business type person at work because I gotta take care of business first, friendship. But like if I have to yell at a friend at work, I gotta yell at them at work. I can't take that stuff home with me and yell at them outside of work. I gotta yell at them at work if it's about work, and then like argue with them outside of work if it's something outside of work. And they've noticed that on me too. It's like, oh, you're a lot different at work. I'm like, yeah, because I'm more trying to be the boss at work because I'm a manager. So it's like I gotta be the boss at work. And coming from here, they see me outside of like, you're so nice, you're so like calm. Then at work I get like angry, like aggravated more because if they're not doing their job, I gotta yell at them. It's like one girl that we just hired, she was kind of my friend. I mean, I was visited with a coworker at his house, and she came over to visit her boyfriend that lives at the house with them. And she's like, "Wow, you're way different from when I met you at Trey's house, my coworker." Like, yeah, because at work it's different. I'm the boss at work.
Yeah.
When both the owners are gone, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to take charge and make sure everyone's doing the job. I don't care what you do outside of work.
Yeah.
So,
I have written down here. I'm not sure if it even ties into this at all, but I don't know why. You know how they had Shania Twain being like the
Huckabee song.
yeah, like, you know, kind of looking forward to this, and it was about the wetlands. At the same time, like, you know, they were getting, and I think Albert was getting at it too in the movie, like how by having Shania do it, like it's taking away from the meaning of what they're trying to preserve the wetlands and everything like that. By bringing the big star in, people are now thinking big star. They're not thinking save the wetlands. They're thinking we're going to go see Shania. They're completely losing the deeper meaning of what they were working for.
What the reason of going to this fundraiser is.
Yeah, and then they had T-shirts and everything. You know, everyone loves free things, T-shirts, and then I mean, people. It was just. I feel like I don't know why that they.
Trying to distract them from the
Yeah,
It's just a big marketing stunt.
Yeah, that's what.
Hey,
Marketing
Shania Twain, free stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, you're losing the woods. You keep the wetlands. You're losing the woods, though, to make them all.
Yeah.
So
And that ties in the persuasion class too. I mean, it's just. I don't know. Are you guys in persuasion? No.
Not for any speech, but
And persuasion. So I mean, everything after this past semester, everything I hear on TV now. I mean, you can pick up things like everything is persuasion. Everything is an advertisement. There's always something that's whether you think it's happening or not, there's always something outside that's affecting what you're gonna think of later. I mean, yeah, it just all ties into
Well,
itself.
it's funny you say that because I was reading a thing today on Twitter. They're saying how logos have hidden meanings in them.
Mm-hmm.
So the big one for me was like the Tostitos logo, the two T's. It's actually two men standing there with a salsa bowl between them. Because the idea between Tostitos is that it's supposed to be shareable between friends and stuff. So it's actually two people hanging out having some chips.
Look at a bag now. I kind of want to check
And
it
then
out.
Baskin Robbins logo, the B part, and then the R
34.
31
Or 31, yeah.
for 31 flavors.
I saw that one before.
No, see, I mean, and that's just, it's lightly scraping the surface of what like advertising does. Like they put ideas into your head without you even knowing that they've done it. And,
Definitely.
I mean, it's insane. Like
subliminal messages.
Yep.
When you watch TV, I mean, like it's midnight, a lot of food commercials start coming on, you start getting hungry. It's like, all right, what's open? Taco John, Taco Bell.
You don't, at the time when you hear it, you're not thinking, I'm going to eat that at midnight tonight, but when I'm hungry, and the first thing that's going to come to mind is, well, it's open. Taco Bell or something. Just because it was a
Open late night. Midnight or later.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things to it.
The part that really grinds my gears is when you see a burger on TV that looks nothing like it.
Oh yeah.
Nothing even close.
Not even not even close at all.
It's usually on TV they're massive, and then you get to the store, it's like, well, where is it?
Camera angle, and a lot of times they're painted on.
Oh well, like okay, McRibs. I love them. They taste so good. But like when you go and get them, and like open it up, like all the onions are always on like one side. Like every time. I've never had a McRib where they weren't. It's just like that's the looks.
And then I think, to be honest, they should make the McRib box a little bigger because you can't actually reach around the burger, grab the bottom of the bun without getting barbecue sauce all over your hand.
Too much sauce on
That just ask for light sauce. You'll get a fresh patty every time. I do that when I go there.
So,
It's like to work at McDonald's.
do you get like Dr. Walks was saying in class? You guys have a story that you always happen to tell about yourselves, or anything like that, or that you thought of, or
The one story I have, and I've told it quite a few times, deals with work, Dunham's.
I've heard it before when we first met. I've heard this story too.
It was a Saturday afternoon, Saturday, 21. I went drinking. It's not the biggest part. It's like I drank a lot, 99 bananas, 99 proof, took 2 shots of that, and then some other shots. And so I went home, and apparently I ran home. Don't remember it. But wake up the next morning, just remember, the first thing I remember about the morning is sitting on my bed. Somebody asked me for a ride. And I'm like, okay, I can't drive, so I need a ride. And then pretty much went to work, had to work that clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Made it to work on time, I think. I don't remember going to work, let's just say that. And just working the entire day. Just walking in the back and it's like, okay, if I mess anything up, it's because I'm drunk right now. So I had to be on registers, which is the worst, and everybody's kind of sitting back there feeling sorry for me and making fun of me at the same time at work. And they're like, yeah, it's your fault. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then, yeah, that's pretty much my story. No, probably why I tell it much at times is because, well, it shows, I don't know, probably crazy I am. And mainly 95% of everybody that works at Dunham's has at least shown up to drunk once at work. So it kind of makes me feel like I fit into the Dunham's role more. And you know your cousin, he showed up every day, or worse.
So is that really you, or is that kind of just a message that you want to portray yourself as?
Probably more of a message because I actually don't drink that much. I've only
wild at times, but not every day.
Yeah, like when I do drink, I drink a little too much, but like I don't drink that often. Kind of another thing I try to portray with that story.
So when I first met you, I didn't think you much of like a drinker, but then like when I heard that story, I was like,
So when he usually drinks a lot and goes kind of doesn't remember.
I haven't been that bad. I know there's a lot of people that have been a lot worse than I have.
Alright. We'll go on to my stories. I guess I usually tell them, I've met people long enough that I've talked to them, like met them before, they start to realize I'm really independent. I like to be alone because how I grew up, I was the last child of 5. And so my parents paid a lot more attention to my sisters and my brother. And it's just kind of me, I was there. And every time, like my senior year in high school, a lot of times the parents didn't even know I was home. Because I was at school from 8 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon or whatever. When I got up, went home, grabbed my clothes, went to work. They weren't home yet. They got home at work at 5. I left for work at 4. They were in bed by the time I got off work at 11, midnight, depending on how long a shift I had. And so I went to bed, woke up. Half the time I didn't realize I was still living there. It's just kind of, I had to make my own food, go shopping, find my own rides, pick my own gas. And my senior year is it's pretty much like the year of college, I was living with my parents though. It's like I never saw them, and so it's like I had to be myself and find my own food, and just kind of this situation where it's like bringing that into college life. It was really easy for me my freshman year to used to everything being away from my parents because that's how kind of was my senior year. The opposite schedule, so it didn't help.
So what do you think this says about you?
I mean, I'm independent. I'm not much of a family kind of person, I guess, because when I go home, I don't really have much to talk about. I just kind of sit there and listen. I mean, because they'll talk about my brother's in the military now, so they talk about how was your training, because he's becoming a pilot. So like, how was flying? Like, got any pictures? My sisters are having their kids now, or 2 of them have kids, so they're like, pay attention to the grandkids now, and I'm just kind of there. Hey, family photo. All right, everybody's here. Take the photo. Okay, that's about it. That's the only reason they call me in sometimes is, hey, we need a family photo for a Christmas card. You want to come home sometime? Yeah, I guess. And that's about it. I mean, and my sisters are triplets, so that was another thing. Is like superstars of our high school because triplets. You have triplets coming through here.
So I guess this is kind of self-explanatory that it really is you because it's
started from
it's what you grew up as, more your life story. So I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. I don't really have to ask you. Is it really you?
Yeah, it's like now I've had roommates and I've never really liked my roommates. I've never had really good roommates, so it's always been like I gotta live alone. As Lane knows now, I'm in the apartment right next to him. It's like it's so much better alone because it's quiet. It's what I enjoy.
And then you have your neighbors, which are enough. Because I live alone too, next to them. We're pretty much neighbors, so we pretty much live together, just 2 different places. So we're somewhat of roommates, but 2 separate.
We can have our alone time when we need it, and then when we want to, we can. Hey, you home? Yeah, want to hang out for a bit? So,
You have a story?
I don't know. I got lots of stories I tell. I don't know if I tell one particular story a lot, but I feel like I tell a lot of stories. I feel like I explain myself through different stories. Like I just can't think of like one particular story.
Do your stories change by who you're talking to? Like if they have a strong hunting background, do you tell more hunting stories?
Of course. I mean, it's just who I'm talking to, like when, like it just. I don't tell the same story, but I tell a lot of different stories. Which I don't know, does that mean I'm like versatile or something? Or I'm just
everywhere.
Well, maybe it just depends on like who I said who you're talking about or who you're talking to. Maybe you relate your stories that you tell them to what they already know. Because then it makes you think, hey, he's kind of like me then. Maybe I should be his friend or whatever.
Like if I were to just like sit down and like talk like with you, I would talk about like back in high school I played like football and stuff because we play sports.
Yeah.
I don't play sports anymore.
Right.
I have nothing to do with it. So like I would tell you like maybe sports stories and you like since working at Dunham's, I work at Sodak, both are outdoors places, both are like, kind of just outdoor oriented.
Well I'm also in the hunting department.
Yeah. So there we can do that. you being where you are as a manager. Like I could tell you about how this summer when I worked at a guy's farm, whenever the boss left, I was like the next in command. Like I feel like my stories like change with, like you said, who I talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
How do you want to portray yourself to that group of people? Are you going to relate the story or tell a story they have no clue about?
Exactly. It's just I feel like I wouldn't make any sense. Yeah. I'm sure there is one story that I tell, but I don't know.
You can't pinpoint it.
Yeah,
because it's like you're under pressure, so you can't think of which. Like,
it's not even that. It's just like there's not one story that I just remember myself.
I'm a lot like that too. That's the same thing as me. Like, I'll cater to who I'm talking to. Cause like I feel like I've done a lot in my life. Like I've gone hunting one time, so I tell you that story one time. Like, but I've done it one time. So like, and then with you, I mean, same thing. I've worked and I've kind of been in charge, like you said, and so on. But I think with that, it does tell a lot about us as like we kind of aim to please people more or less.
We sell ourselves to people.
Right.
No matter who you talk to, whether they're new or someone you've known for forever, it's just human to constantly try and sell yourself to people. I mean, everyone wants to be part of the group. Everyone wants to be accepted. We do that just by talking. We cater to people what they want to hear.
Right.
I mean,
if you're a friend with someone for a while, you lose contact with them and try to get back to your old stories again. Like, hey, remember the time we hung out this time or whatever? It's like, that doesn't, it brings back old memories, but doesn't really help you get back into being friends with him again. Like, if you're in contact for a while, you gotta find new stories that relate to what he's gone through now.
Yeah. So like when I go home for Christmas, it'll be a lot of talk about hockey, different games that are going on now, and then also memories that we've had. My dad coached me a lot, so we would talk about games that he coached, years we had, friends that I played with. I mean, like, we had so many memories. Like, I remember one we beat a team 36-0. Like, so, like, we talked about that a
show
lot.
up or something?
No, they were there.
Sticks.
It was their first year of hockey, and they were like,
so they didn't have the time to build it.
Yeah, they weren't very good. They could barely skate.
And you just didn't get taken.
Well,
Go easy
the problem with it is we had to win by more than 32 to get in the final.
Oh.
So we had to.
You have to win by
for goals for and against.
Oh, okay.
That was the thing. Like that happened when I was 9 years old, but I've never forgot it. There's a bunch of other stuff that happened in the tournament too that we will always talk about. So like we said, different people we're talking to will tell different stories, and we'll have different memories, I think. And like I said, when I go back home, I'll talk more about hockey than I will, let's say, with you guys. Like, you probably don't understand hockey as much as I would, or anybody else that I talk to around here, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, but like Dr. Ross was saying in class, these different stories, I think, build up our identity construct. Like, they build who we are, definitely, I would say.
I think that, like I was thinking earlier, like how if everything is connected, our ideas connected and things like that. And like now I can kind of see, yeah, they are connected in a weird way. Because, I mean, just think of it. Okay, we were just talking about hunting. We went right to hockey. When you started talking about hockey, my mind goes to last night when I was playing hockey against, I wasn't playing hockey, we were playing PS3 against my roommate we were playing a hockey game. And then from there, you can just, hockey, okay,
Right.
Pop, sword pop.
It's kind of like that game where I'll give you a word and you try to find the word that comes right to your mind.
Everything is connected. I mean, whether it's not really connected by a meaningful way, but it does have a connection somewhere.
Like something could happen to me now, and I'll have a dream about it at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like, how?
Let's try it. Okay, let's try the connection thing right now. I'm going to come up with one word.
Okay, here's a better way to do it. We open up Wikipedia and then go from there. Try to get from one subject to a completely different subject by the links.
There's a thing I saw. I think it was on Reddit or whatever. It's if you go to any English site or England Wikipedia article, within 12 clicks you can get to Hitler and World War II. Don't know how that's possible, but it's just I think England, all right, Britain, Churchill, World War II. You just kind of connect those ideas.
Yeah, I mean, everything is connected.
Mm-hmm. And now that you say that, yeah, I would definitely agree that everything's connected. I didn't think of that in the circumstance that when you think of something, your mind just continues to wander. I do that in class all the time. A teacher will say something, and all of a sudden I'm thinking of like monkeys.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like not even related. You're just like, how did I? What was? It just doesn't make sense. Like table. What's the first thing you think when you think of a table that's connected to a table?
table tennis.
Chairs.
Tennis. Okay, tennis. I think of sports. When I think of sports, I think of football. When I think of football, I think of cleats. When I think of cleats, I think of track. When I think of track, I think of rain because my junior year at state track it was raining. I mean, it just
It's crazy.
Everything
It
just
goes on and on.
yeah, it's linked. Everything is linked. I mean,
During when I was started, when I was in 8th grade, our 8th grade speech teacher had us do something like that, where we'd go from one subject to a completely different subject. Just like you start off with a word and you like think of the first thing
Like the
and keep going.
TV show Chain Reaction.
Kind of, yeah.
Like Bob the Builder, Builder, something, and you gotta try to connect the two words, and it's just something like that. You think of the first word, connect with the second word, and then you think of the second one, connect to the third word, and then just keep going on. It's like, then it all makes sense.
Yeah. That's all we got.
I don't know. Is there any other questions you got down?
That's pretty much the brunt of it all.
Well tried.
yeah. You smell that? Yeah, that's my brain.
So you just fried your brain. That makes me hungry.
Oh, so we're connecting everything with fried brains.
Good job, guys.